Hello dear viewers, and welcome back to my meandering program. Now you might be wondering why I've spawned, for lack of a better word, there's probably a lot of better words actually, arrived at this charming skate park, and it's because this location was at the centre, in fact the epicenter of a recent event in Melbourne, Victoria, and that is an earthquake. Just last week, Melbourne was gently rocked by I think it was a 3.9 magnitude earthquake. Correct me if I'm wrong, someone, all 32 subscribers or mum. And yeah, it was intense. I know a lot has recently been said about earthquakes and how they actually occur daily, perhaps even thousands a year, but they're not often felt. And in the past 3 years, we've had 2 fairly significant earthquakes in Victoria, which was pretty surprising for local seismologists because there was no known fault in Victoria. There's a fault called the Governor Fault, I think, but they've recently hypothesized that there's another one that's lying hidden. It's a thrust fault or a blind fault, which means, look at this skate bowl here. Let's pretend this is a fault line. This one makes it all the way to the crust of the earth, where blind fault doesn't really make it all the way to the surface or the crust where a typical fault line would reach. Like this line here just stops there, and apparently that makes it undetectable. That's pretty interesting. So why don't we get very many earthquakes in Australia? Thankfully, it's because of plate tectonics. Now I'm not an expert on the matter, but I do find it interesting. Let me take you to my slide on plate tectonics for a little visual demonstration. That's not the right one. So here we go. Here is a map of the world, and Australia is here in this green section, and we reside on the Indo-Australia plate. So we're sort of smack bang in the middle with no major plate lines crossing through any part of our continent, thankfully. I was listening to the radio recently, and a seismologist described our situation or our earthquakes with a dessert metaphor. They said, imagine Australia is a pavlova. So around the edge of the pavlova, we have the edge of the Indo-Australia plate. And they said, if you have a pavlova and you push on the outside will crumble a little bit, but cracks will also form in the center because of the pressure that's put on it from the outside. I thought that was a good analogy for the common people, such as myself. They did not make any mention of what would happen to the kiwi fruit slices if such pressure was applied. If you're a seismologist and you're listening, it might be a good idea to update us on what would happen to the fruit. Alright, so you can see a lot of plates here. Some are small and some are large. The biggest plate, oh, actually I don't even know if it's the biggest plate. The Antarctic plate might be the biggest plate. That seems to take up a massive chunk, but nobody lives down there, so it's not a big deal. Anyway, so the one that causes the most problem is the one that touches the most countries or the most continents, and that is, of course, yeah, the specific plate. It's actually the Pacific plate right here. Now, this is also known as the Ring of Fire. So the Ring of Fire is the area highlighted in red here. It's more of a horseshoe of fire, but that doesn't really roll off the tongue in that way. This line represents areas that are the most volatile in terms of their seismic activity, whether that is an earthquake or a volcano. So you'll notice that where the line touches is where the most earthquakes occur. So we have Chile, we have the west coast of the US, which is famous for its earthquake activity. And then, of course, we have Alaska here as well, carrying on to this Russian peninsula. I think it's called Kutcha, and then Sakhalin Island, I think, and Japan too, the Philippines and Indonesia. This area here is particularly active, especially with volcanoes. Oh, and famously Krakatoa. And then, of course, New Zealand down here. The Indo-Australia plate and the Pacific plate, they meet right through the centre of New Zealand, which is of course why it is a country that experiences a lot of sometimes devastating earthquakes. That's not to say that these are the only places that experience earthquakes. This plate just causes a lot of problems. There is also, of course, the convergence, I don't know if that's the right word, of the African plate and the Eurasia, as well as the Arabian plate. They all meet here, and as you can see, the African plate, where it meets the Eurasia plate that runs right through Turkey, and they've also recently experienced a devastating earthquake too. So that is plate tectonics. I hope I didn't make any mistakes in that little summary, but if nothing else, the Pavlova analogy was, at least it was useful or amusing. Okay, back to Sunbury. So this skate park technically isn't the epicenter of Sunbury. I just wanted to pick an interesting landmark in Sunbury with some interesting street art as well, like this pig with a dick on its back. It's wearing a top hat, but the actual epicenter was not the tennis club, here. Not quite here, but the road was the closest point I could get because the street view car doesn't travel into paddocks. But this is where the earthquake epicenter was, and it was a shallow earthquake, perhaps, I don't know, 2 kilometers underground or something like that. So this is the third earthquake that I have personally felt or experienced in my 20 years of living in Victoria. So those earthquakes were the 2023 Sunbury earthquake, the 2021 Woodend earthquake, and the 2012 earthquake. I don't know where the epicenter was, but it did produce this hilarious meme at the time. It says, earthquake 2012, we will rebuild. It was slight. All right, so I think that's enough talk on a subject I'm not an expert in. So we're all experts now with the internet, aren't we? Goodbye Sunbury Skate Park, goodbye random intersection. And now we're left with the game Geoguessr. So I'm going to play 2 maps today, maybe more, I don't know, we'll see what comes up. You never know how these things are going to go. The first map is Indoors Around the World. It's no secret that I love playing indoor Geoguessr maps. I find them really entertaining, and I like looking for the non-landscape clues. There are some I rely on more heavily than others. Sometimes it's a flop, but it's entertaining. And the second is this one. It says strongest earthquakes in history. I don't know what this is going to be like. There's only 5 locations. Yeah, we'll see how we go. We might begin with this one first. Let's play strongest earthquakes in history. Okay, I'll keep them. No, turn that off. Let's take 2 and begin again. Alright, we have arrived in our location. Now, I wonder if the maker has selected epicenters or areas closest to the epicenters for creating this map. I wish I had unlocked the moving feature. Gosh, I obviously need to go to bed. Alright, so this is looking like Eastern Europe to me. I see signs of a unsad playground. If you have watched all of my episodes, you'll remember that episode we covered unsad playgrounds, which was mainly Soviet style playgrounds, but there are other clues here other than the playground that suggests that this is perhaps on that Russian peninsula that we mentioned earlier. So the clues are these fences, the playground, the white painted trees, that's a thing, and I also noticed out here a mountain top, and these are probably volcanoes. There's an area in Russia on this peninsula, I believe, or yeah, on this peninsula down here where there's a number of still active volcanoes, I think. Anyway, I suspect this is where this earthquake occurred. Where are those volcanoes? Yeah, I'm gonna pick this place here. Alright, and this area is called, I don't really know, I'll look it up after. It's near Krasny. Alright, next. Ooh, okay. Where might this be? This could be a number of places. So I wonder if this is, hold on. This looks like a little plaque or a memorial thing. I wonder if this is the site of the earthquake, the ocean earthquake that triggered a massive tsunami on Boxing Day in 2004. So if this is the earthquake that I suspect it is, although I'm still not sure. I think it is. Then the epicenter was in the Ring of Fire, and somewhere near Thailand. Where is it? Somewhere near Sumatra, because it was felt, yeah, I hope this is the right earthquake, in this area here, and it obviously was extremely devastating in Thailand, but lots of other places as well. There were people that died in Somalia around the Horn of Africa. That's how far the consequential tsunami after the earthquake, that's how far it travelled. The people died in Sri Lanka as well, and I think even Tanzania and Madagascar too. It was a massive earthquake, and it was close to 200,000 people, or more than 200,000 people that lost their lives because of it. I think it was like West Sumatra, somewhere around here. Yeah, it doesn't make sense that it's this side though. We'll see if this is right. Oh god, wrong side. So they've dropped the pin where a lot of damage occurred, which makes sense because there's not going to be any... Anyway, carrying on. Oh, alright. So I have a feeling... Yeah, this is Chile, and this is... I'm pretty sure the earthquake that occurred in Chile was the largest earthquake in recorded history. Now, let's just have a look around. Say, Savvy. I'm pretty sure that this earthquake was south of Santiago, and yeah, it was a big one. Let's have a look at the map. Valdivia. I'm pretty sure this is where it was. Let's just guess here. Yeah, it was. Memory served me well. The biggest earthquake in recorded human history, which is insane. All right, next place. Jesus God, what the fuck is this? Is this... Oh, this must be the 2011 earthquake and tsunami that devastated Japan a number of years ago now. At the bottom of a shopping mall, or it might be a train station actually. Whoa, that's full on. Alright, let's go there, and I'm not too sure where the epicenter for this one occurred, but I'm gonna guess that it was down here, although it was... I guess it was felt all through the country. But yeah, I think the epicenter might be down here somewhere. I'll just try. Nope. Makes sense. Closer to Fukushima, which was obviously where the nuclear power plant was that was damaged in the disaster. Alright. I think I know where this one is as well. This is probably the second biggest earthquake in recorded human history. I listened to a podcast about this earthquake, and a survivor at the time described driving down the road with their mother or father in the car, and suddenly the bitumen road they were driving on, it just started rolling like waves, and the car was bouncing up and down on the rippling road. And I'll show you a photo of it after I pick, making sure that this is Alaska. I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Alaska. It looks like it. Let's go for it. I think the epicenter was here on an island, one of the most greatly affected places, but I'm just going to pick somewhere near Anchorage. Yep, it was over here in, that's it, Valdez earthquake. Alright, so 18,000. Not too accurate, but good score overall. Let me show you the Valdez. Yeah, so this is an image of one of the roads that's been split down the middle. It's like the earthquake you would imagine in your mind's eye if you imagine an earthquake, where the earth is literally splitting before your eyes. Absolutely terrifying. And yeah, this scenery looks like it's been put through a kaleidoscope. It's completely destroyed. Alright, that took a a depressing turn. If you ever are in a serious earthquake, you should always find a sturdy doorway to stand under. I'm pretty sure that's the advice. Don't be like me and just stay in your bed and wait for it to blow over. Yeah, try and get to that doorway. Hi there. I thought I'd just interrupt my own program to let you know that I have no idea what I'm talking about, and you shouldn't listen to any of the advice I just gave you. So I'm on the SES Victoria's earthquake page, and they have some hot tips if you're ever in an earthquake situation. The first one is to stay away from glass and windows and anything that could fall on you, like lights or other furniture. And It also says to stay in bed if you are there when an earthquake strikes. I guess it's for time saving. Anyway, you've got a pillow and a blanket there, so put that shit over your head and protect your face. So yeah, if you're already in bed, stay in bed. That is advice I can get behind. And now the next piece of advice is do not use a doorway. Oh my god, my world has been rocked, figuratively. You can use it if you know it's strongly supported, and I guess the only way you could know that is if you knew something about your fucking house or if you built the house, but it has to be a load bearing doorway, and if you don't know if your doorway is load bearing or not, then don't trust that bloody doorway. Yeah. Goodness me. All right, you can read the rest of those in your own time, but I just wanted to clear up my 2 mistakes. I had no idea. Anyway, turns out I did do the right thing. I stayed in bed like a lazy... Okay, back to the show. All right, now on to indoors around the world. Let's have a real crack at this. Okay, here we are. The first indoor location. It has a Coke machine with perhaps is an out of order sign on it. That is heartbreaking for the staff at the very least. Alright, so we're in a little tool shop. Got a few Ryobi power tools on display. Shout out if you want to sponsor me. Okay, what have we got over here? Sealy power products. That's not a brand I'm familiar with. And Plastico. Alright, clearance. I was looking for an exit sign, but I can't find one. I can just find a heater on full whack, which means we're somewhere cold. Another heater blaring out here. Another heater. Gosh, it must be freezing outside. Alright, I'm gonna pick Seattle. Oh, Jersey. Jersey. That was my next pick. Fucking hell. Alright, I forget how humiliating this is. Here we are in room 5, and it's the green room as featured on the 90s sci-fi / horror film The Cube. Room 4, room 5. Got some listening devices and like mini iPads in here. Alright, so this is an English learning facility. Inglés at individual. I see air conditioners. Might be a little bit warm. See a couple of tropical looking plants and jungle style foliage. Inglés. This is Spanish. I might pick Brazil. No, because that's Portuguese. I'm gonna pick Colombia. Mexico. Alright, not doing it too. Let's carry on. Oh, we're in a church. Some very decorative. Well, this looks like an organ. Fucking scary organ. Are they organ pipes? What are they attached to though? Is this all organ? No, they're just roof shingles. Got some Villa Verde. This is a toughie as well, isn't it? Lots of wood and gilding, or painted wood. So stone, extremely ornate, and this is definitely an organ. I don't know, I think I'm gonna guess Spain for this one, based on how gaudy some of this is and the like coloured stones as well. I don't know why else. Yeah, let's go for Spain. I'm gonna go somewhere closer to Valencia. That'll do. Oh, it's in Portugal, near Porto, in the town of Braga. That's annoying. Oh, gave it a crack. Insides are hard. Right, here we go at the Hilt Hammer, and they're offering the Hell, the Hefe, and the Dunkel. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Cafe, not privé. Bavaria, Munich. Is that a trap? Oh, I just want to guess Munich. That would be simple and fun. If I see a single bottle of Jägermeister, I absolutely will. Hang on a second. Fucking hold the phone. Here we go. This is double confirmed. We've got the Jägermeister on tap. I'm inclined to pick somewhere closer to Freiburg over this side, where I know for a fact they like to drink their Jägermeister straight off the tap. I should just pick Munich because it says it, but I just don't want to. Bavaria, Munich, doesn't matter. We're gonna go here. Huh, that was a trap, wasn't it? I suppose it was a themed bar, and that's why they had the Jägermeister on tap. Whatever, I don't even care. I'm tired, okay? I hate those rounds. I know I set myself up for this, but because this clearly isn't Bavaria. Fake German restaurant. Couldn't even spot it a mile away, could I? Let's check it out on maps. Alright, here we are at the front. The restaurant's somewhere in here. Pity we didn't get a little glimpse of the outside, because this would have been the dead giveaway here. The overground gas pipes that are common in areas of Russia where there's a permafrost, which is an area where the ground is permanently frozen. So to lay a pipe, say for natural gas or whatever, the digging, it's like trying to dig into rock. And I think the other reason they do it is something to do with maybe the contents not freezing, but I could be wrong about that one too. Alright, let's get out of these fucking bars. Next slide. Goodness. Alright. Whoa. Oh, thank God. It's just it's a reenactment of a birth. Distressed. I guess it's distressing. And why they felt the need to put this up on Google Street View, I'll never know. Baby's being delivered. No gender reveal party for these two. They're just keeping it low key. Don't know where these people who they might be. Yeah, I have no idea about this one. I'm gonna guess somewhere in the West Indies. That's not the West Indies. Okay, oh, Brazil. Alrighty, that concludes the episode. Sorry, I was flailing slightly at the end. I was growing weary, but I hope there was something in there that you enjoyed nonetheless. So goodbye for now.